What's going on, everyone? I'm your host Troy and welcome to Rogent Productions. In this video we're going to be taking a deep look into the new Switch footage of Zelda Breath of the Wild off the Plateau gameplay for the first time. All this footage that I am showing you was captured by Pro Jared Plays and Polygon along with some footage from Nintendo's Treehouse stream. I'll leave a link in the description for each individual clip down below. So basically I have combined all the gameplay footage together and will be pointing out certain things that may reveal new features, locations, and items in the game, along with some other interesting things that I felt were worth pointing out. So without further ado, let's jump right into this. So obviously in this gameplay demo, Link has already completed everything in order to obtain the sailcloth from the old man, and this is how we will be leaving the plateau. We literally can jump off the plateau in any direction we want, and from there go anywhere we want. Now getting back up to the plateau is beyond me. Only thing I can think of is through fast travel maybe. Anyways, as you can see here, there are very few, if any, pop-ins in the Switch version. The draw distance has vastly increased, which is one of the main upgrades I was hoping for between the Wii U and the Switch version. Another thing I noticed is that the weather is very dynamic in this game. From the time Link jumped off the plateau to when he finally reached Hyrule Field, the weather changed from cloudy to sunny, and the wind direction changes as well. This is very nice in my opinion, especially seeing cloud shadows move along the terrain while we were playing. And look how far we can see the shadows coming from. It's just amazing to see this kind of detail in a Zelda game. Another thing I noticed was the structure behind the castle to the right a little bit. I can't quite make out what it is, but it looks very abnormal and definitely interesting because it almost looks transparent and it looks like the particles are kind of moving above the structure. I don't know, it's really far away to try and tell, but it looks really weird to me. I just thought I'd point that out. Now here we see some of the different material you can obtain in the game. This just shows how much detail is in this game. We see frogs, fish, some sort of wing. And also remember, this is just the beginning of the game. I can't even imagine how much more material we will see once we travel to other regions in the game. Man, I cannot wait for this game. Moving on, here we get our first glimpse of a blue rupee. And of course, the Nintendo representative playing the demo refuses to gather any new items in order to not spoil anything. But it's nice that we see that there are different valued rupees in the game once again.
Sparkle, sparkle.
We see here that cooking is going to be taking a bigger role in the game than what I expected, because now we see that you can cook different ingredients that will give Link different abilities throughout the game, including now stealth abilities, and from what we saw at E3, extra temporary hearts of course. I'm really excited to see what other abilities we will be able to give Link by cooking when the game releases. A very popular returning enemy is now confirmed for the game, and that's the Choo Choo or Chews from Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. And as we can see, they will be giving us some sort of jelly which will probably be able to be cooked for potions. Now the main part of these off the plateau demos were for Nintendo to show us how catching wild horses and taming them will work. So cooking stealth foods will help us sneak up on horses, and we've also learned that horses will not listen to our commands unless we have a bond with them. You can see at the bottom of the screen that there is a soothe button to calm the horse down and build your relationship with that particular horse. And we can see the little effect that takes place when you do this. Once the horse gets to know you, it will start listening to your commands, including whistling for it to come to you. We also learned that each horse has randomized stats, including strength, speed, stamina, and temperament. And we are also able to see how much bond we have with that horse, assuming 100 will be the highest you can get. I'm not sure if the stats increase over time with horses, but I'm really liking this feature that they have added. And we can all safely assume Epona will have max stats whenever we do find her in the game. We can catch up to 5 horses, name and register them at the stables for 20 rubies located all around Hyrule. And say you register a horse at one stable, that same horse will be at all stables for the convenience of the player. Once horses are registered, the stable will put a saddle on the horse for you. Okay, moving on from the horse details, a very big confirmation here. Side quests do exist, and they look like so much fun just from seeing this one alone. Finding a rare horse, I'm so looking forward to hopefully hundreds of side quests in the game. Another big confirmation, Beetle is making a return. and it looks like he will be traveling from stable to stable, and it's safe to assume that as you progress through the game, he will have rarer and better items in stock, and hopefully there will be some sort of reward system with him, like in Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass. And of course, the Nintendo representative completely ignored him, but it's okay, I respect them for avoiding spoilers. This one bothered me though. Who the hell just threw that boulder at Link? I really wish they would have turned the camera to show where it came from. Anyways, as we can see here, some pretty big and strong enemies appear right off the bat in Hyrule Field. And oh yeah, auto-saving is confirmed. And Aonuma also confirmed that you can save at any time, anywhere in the game, which will allow us to pick up right where we left off. Moving on, we can see a shrine at the top of the Twin Peaks. That's going to require a ton of stamina to get to, so I'm guessing we won't be able to get to that until later in the game when we upgrade our stamina bar. Here we can see some more wildlife that makes the game just feel so alive. There's going to be a lot of different animals throughout Hyrule, as we can see just from the gameplay and also by Nintendo releasing this new image today. Now this is a very interesting part of the gameplay. Here we see Link trying to sneak up on some wild horses with a fox in the background, but what caught my eye was this thing. What the hell is that? It immediately reminded me of the bugs we could catch in Twilight Princess, and we get another glimpse of it right here, and in another gameplay demo we see it again in the same exact spot. It obviously has some importance due to it being sparkly and shiny, but that's the only thing I could think of is the rare bugs are returning? Let me know what you think it is down in the comment section below. It looks interesting to say the least. Like I said, the only thing I can think of is some sort of bug we can catch, but we'll have to wait until March to see what that thing is. Look how Link can jump off his horse now. This is pretty cool in my opinion because it was really annoying in Twilight Princess where we would have to stop the horse to get off of it. In this scene we see Link climbing a tall lookout point at a rather large bokoblin fort, and off in the distance we see the giant bird-shaped ship that we saw in the Life in the Ruins trailer back in December. And from what I've seen, this thing travels in the direction you see it moving in now, and also goes in reverse. But it stays in that particular region, which I'm assuming is where we will meet the new bird race. Here we get to see a new castle-like structure in the distance. Looks like it will either be a fortress of some kind or maybe lead to a small dungeon perhaps. And we can see that a small bridge leads to it. I just thought I'd point that out. It looks very interesting to explore. And then at the end we get to see a guardian that isn't trapped in the ground and eventually destroys Link. It seems that Hyrule gets more dangerous the farther you travel out, which is really exciting because say you want to travel on a long journey, you're going to have to prepare for that journey and have plenty of weapons, items, potions, food, etc. Past Zelda games have been way too easy in my opinion. I'm really glad to see that this game is much more of a challenge. Here we see the Nintendo rep showing off the gyro controls of the Pro Controller, which I'm glad to let you know that all motion controls in the game are able to be turned off in settings. Thank God. In this section of the gameplay, we see that Koroks appear not just on the plateau but also in Hyrule Field, as we see on top of this hill next to a tree stump. So Koroks are going to play a pretty big role in the game, it seems, which I'm really looking forward to. Another thing that I have kind of thought about, especially after seeing this Resurrection Tower, is that we're going to have to climb these to activate them, unlike the first one on the plateau where we activated it and we were already on the top. That's sort of an obvious, but what I hadn't really thought about is that each one will have a different and probably more difficult way to climb, as we can see here when zoomed in that it has platforms sticking out in a different pattern than the first tower. So that really gives off a Far Cry 4 vibe in my opinion, and is very similar to the radio towers we had to climb to open up that section of the map. It's pretty much the same concept, and I'm really liking this mechanic they've added because that's pretty cool that we actually have to climb these towers to unlock that section of the map on our Sheikah slate in order to see the terrain. So I really think that the farther the Resurrection Towers are from the plateau, the harder they're going to be to climb, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see the different ways we can climb them. So in this gameplay, along with Nintendo's Treehouse gameplay, we can see that NPCs will appear throughout the game fighting certain enemies, and you're able to help them if you choose to. And I think it's safe to assume that if you save them, you will be rewarded in some way by the character, whether it be rubies or an item of some sort, or maybe even a side quest will unlock. Who knows, but it's pretty cool that random NPCs will be appearing. So that's basically all the important things that I noticed and found while watching the gameplay. I'm sure I missed something, so feel free to comment down below and let me know of anything you found that I didn't bring up. I hope you all enjoyed this analysis. I put a good amount of time into it, so please consider giving it a like and sharing. And don't forget to subscribe here at Roger Productions for more Zelda Breath of the Wild news, updates, and more. Other than that, I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one.